Welcome all of you devotees. We will read that one para on subconscious, conscious, and superconscious mind. And then we will proceed further. Share it. Please read this one. Superconscious, subconscious, and conscious mind.
The mind, mana, has three aspects. Superconscious mind, the conscious mind, and the subconscious mind.
Yeah. So these three words are used. Superconscious means spiritual mind. It is beyond the mind, which is, absorbed in the samsara, or the world around us. The buildings and the cars and the trains and the aeroplanes and the hotels and the men, the women, the family, the colleges. All these things are things which are seen by us, by our eyes. This is called Drishya Jagat, all around us. So if my mind is stooped in day-to-day activities in the Jagruti state, in the current state, it is actually called conscious mind. But superconscious mind means you go beyond that. Go to a higher place, just like aeroplane. It goes in a runway and then takes off to the sky. Similarly, if our mind goes beyond the mind of average man and goes to sublime platform, where it is able to think of the soul, the super soul, the relationship with God, and pure sublime thoughts like thoughts of forgiveness and tolerance and patience and kindness and saintliness. And the mind is able to absorb in the leelas, name, form, qualities, pastimes, and activities of Lord Krishna in Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Srimad Bhagavatam, and such kinds of subject matters. Mind is able to absorb itself in it. That's called actually. Then you switch off to the normal world around you. Like, for example, tit for tat is a common thing in this world. Somebody insulted me, I insult back. But superconscious means somebody may insult you, you may look with curiosity, why he insulted me? Maybe I need to modify some of my behavior in order for him to respect me. So that is superconscious mind. Superconscious mind thinks differently, unlike the conscious mind. And the subconscious mind is like a lake, inside the lake. Conscious mind is in the surface of the lake. Superconscious mind is up in the sky, beyond the lake. You can imagine what I'm saying, right? That means fishes are inside the water. That is like subconscious mind. And there is a man who is in a ferry or a boat on the surface of the lake. That is conscious mind. And there is a fellow in the aeroplane up in the sky. That is superconscious mind. So you can remember these three examples. The fish in the ocean, the man on the boat, and the man in the plane. So you all know 4 states of consciousness: Jagruti, Swapna, Sushupti, Samadhi. There are 4 states of consciousness. Jagruti means right now we all are in Jagruti. It's a wakeful state where you are aware now. It's evening time there. You are sitting with your friends. You are sitting in the city called Boston. You are in Temple Hall. So you are aware of your situation around. You are in an awakened state now. You are an engineer studying in such college and everything. Then there is a swapana state, which happens at night when you sleep. When you lie down, close your eyes, you enter into a dream state. Sometimes you feel, oh, I am sitting on a silver chariot drawn by beautiful horses. I am flying in the sky, and I am a prince or I am a king. And then you find a beautiful palace, huge palace surrounded by gardens and everything. And so I was telling you about the Swapana state, second state, dream state, and Jagruti state, Swapana state. Why it's not recording? No problem. Omkar Prabhu,
Yes, Guruji.
You are made the host.
Okay. Okay.
You can make me the host. Huh?
Okay. Yeah. Done. Done, Guruji.
Okay, it's going on now. Continue.
Yes.
Okay. So I was telling you, the Swapana state, what happens? You go into another world. I told you, like you are like a king, you are flying in the sky, and you are in a golden chariot, it's a beautiful palace, there is a queen next to you, and there are so many things you are imagining. And then you enter, coming flying into the palace, and you are sitting with a big table full of very nice eatables and everything, and like foam soft beds, and gold and silver and diamond and everything. Suddenly you come out of the dream. You look around, oh, I'm just a college student. Now I have to rush to college, I have examination today. Huh? You realize that is the external state when you come. So in a dream state, it appears almost like reality for you. Is it reality? Like you see, imagine you are sleeping at night, there is a lion or a tiger chasing you in the forest. And the thick jungle, you are running, and it is chasing after you. Huh? You are very frightened. You are thinking it's going to tear me and eat me up. Huh? And then sometimes a dog also sometimes. And suddenly you scream loudly and fall off the bed. Huh? You roll off the bed and fall. And then you find your whole body is completely sweating. You're drenched with your sweat. And then there is no dog, no tiger, no lion, no forest. You are just in your room only. It was just a dream. Huh? Similarly, a young boy sometimes dreams of a young girl right next to him. He's thinking that that dear one is sleeping next to me and I'm embracing, and then he finds that nothing. There is only a pillow. He's
मैं
embracing.
भी उन सांसदों में से एक था जो पहली बार आए थे।
What is the sound coming?
न मैं इसकी ज्योग्राफी भी जानता था,
And
न
that is
किस
the sound.
गली से आते हैं वो भी पता नहीं था,
Who is
तो
unmuted?
नया था।
Haribol? Who is speaking? Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah. Okay.
Uh,
What was the last thing I was saying?
Guruji, now it should be fine, I think.
Yeah. There was some talk local, and that talk is coming in here. Okay. So what was the last thing I said?
Telling that tiger chasing in the dream example.
Yeah.
Pillow.
I was saying about that sapna state, a tiger chasing after us. Another thing I said, a boy imagining some girl is right next to him in the bed. But when he wakes up, he understands there is nobody around. I am alone. And you will find that in the tiger chasing example, your whole body sweats. And Srila Prabhupada writes in the book Hare Krishna Challenge, there's a dialogue. That Prabhupada says, if a boy is imagining some woman is next to him, then he even releases semen. He says, but when he wakes up, he realizes there's nobody. That means you can imagine the dream is as pronounced as the Jagrati. Swapna is as pronounced as Jagrati. That means in the Swapna body, you forget the Jagrati body. In the Jagrati body, you forget the Swapna body. So right now you are in Jagrati body. You are not thinking anything about your Swapna now. Correct, no? You have completely come out of Swapna, dream. You will laugh at yourself. Hey, there is no dog, there is no tiger. What are you talking? You are very confident now in the Jagrati state. Hey, that was all imagination. I was thinking that particular so-and-so was there right next to me. There is nobody here. You are fully confident. And in Swapna state, you are fully confident that there is a dog, there is a tiger, or there is a lion, or there is a woman. You are fully into that. So much hooked into that you cannot remember your Jagrati state at all. These two are two distinct states. And they have no connection. This is separate, this is separate. One is Jagrati, one is Swapna. Therefore, you can know that your consciousness arising from the soul is totally different from these two states, Jagrati and Swapna states, which is called Samadhi. That is the fourth state called Samadhi. Third state is Sushupti, useless to talk about because Sushupti is a state which is deep sleep state, where we are in deep ignorance. Neither in Jagrati nor in Swapna. For example, any day, night when you are sleeping, and after midnight, between 12 to 2, you are in such a deep state of sleep. A deep sleep state, in that state you are not conscious, and you are neither conscious of Swapna nor conscious of Jagrati. Yeah. So these are 4 states: Jagrati, Swapna, Sushupti, Samadhi. 4 states. Okay, I'll tell you a little story which will illustrate this point even further. Once upon a time, a king, while sleeping at night, suddenly he got a dream that he had become a butterfly and he was flying from one flower to another. He would sit, slowly move the wings, softly. He was a colorful butterfly and he was sucking the honey in the flower. Then he would move and fly to another flower, third flower, and so on and so forth. He would do that. And it went on for an hour or two. He became absorbed in the dream. And suddenly he woke up in the middle of the night and he switched on the light. He called his ministers and asked them a very profound question. Am I a king who is dreaming I am a butterfly? Or am I a butterfly who is dreaming right now that I am a king? Because right now it is possible that I am thinking I am a king and you guys are not, you are all coming in my dream now. I may also be in a dream. I may be actually a butterfly. I am a butterfly right now thinking I am a king, so you are coming in my dream. Are you coming in my dream? Or in reality, I am a king, but I am dreaming that, I was a butterfly and then now I have come out of that butterfly dream. So which one is dream? Is butterfly dream or the king's body the dream? You understood the question, all of you? Is the question clear?
Butterfly is the dream,
Yes,
no,
Prabhuji.
Prabhuji?
So butterfly dream is a dream, you may say, correct, no? That means I am a king, but I'm imagining I'm a butterfly. That is the only dream. You may think like that. So is there any other answer anybody has? Which one is a dream? Is king dreaming him to be a butterfly or butterfly dreaming himself to be a king? Which one is Swapna, which one is Jagrati? You all are confident? The king is a king and his butterfly dream is a dream. You are sure?
Wherever he
Sir,
feels,
Actually,
wherever
wherever?
wherever he feels pain and all
Okay.
the senses.
Okay. Or if you say wherever he feels pain, for example, I told you, right now if somebody insults you, you will feel pain. And if you're sleeping at night, in the dream somebody insults you, there also you will feel pain. Therefore, I gave you 2 examples. The dog chasing, you sweat. And woman right next to a man, then he releases semen. Both are as much an experience in dream, as much as it is in real life. Do you agree? Can any of you say here that, no, Prabhuji, dream is not that profound. Dream is very vague. Can you say that? Dream is extremely as pronounced as your Jagrati life. What do you say, Arvind?
I think that is true, probably.
We can see that. We all have experience of that. Like one day in a temple, in the ashram, I saw one fellow was lying on a cot. He sat down on the cot in the night, was still asleep, and he was holding his hand like this. I was wondering, what is he doing? And then he was taking something like in hand, putting in the mouth. He was eating and was drinking a lot. I said he was drinking also. And he was drinking like this. Then I was wondering, what is he doing? There's nothing in the hand. He's doing like this. Then after some time when he got up, he looked around and said, oh, Prabhu, I had a plate full of, dozen gulab jamuns. I was putting one by one gulab jamun in the mouth and I was drinking the water also. And what he was drinking was not gulab jamun water, it was actually saliva only he was drinking, his own saliva only. He said the gulab jamun dream was so pronounced for him. He literally felt there was round, big brown gulab jamuns floating in a golden liquid and he was picking one by one and eating. And he was telling, Prabhuji, that is why I was wondering how nobody in the temple will allow me to eat a dozen gulab jamuns like this. Generally they give limited, only two they give. He was telling, I'm eating, with full freedom. So he was telling his experience of eating gulab jamun was as good as daytime eating. But when he came out of the dream, he understood, Chichi, what is this? I am drinking my own saliva in the night and thinking I'm eating gulab jamuns. So the dream is as pronounced as the real life. Therefore, if you very carefully see, this Jagrati Sapana, these 2 states of consciousness, they are as pronounced as each other. In Jagrati state, you forget Swapna. In Swapna state, you forget Jagrati. But beyond these two is called Turiya or the Samadhi stage, the fourth stage, where you go beyond both these things. You go beyond Jagrati, you go beyond Swapna. And you go to a fully awakened state where the seeker becomes a seer. Right now we are all seekers. But when you become a realized soul, you become a seer. In the seer state, where you are experiencing a very high bliss, a spiritual bliss in the spiritual realm, your physical body is here in the material world, but the soul becomes posted in the spiritual world, where you see Lord Krishna, you see Balaram, you see covered boys, you see the Yamuna, you see the Kalpavriksha trees, which are desert trees, you see cows and calves running with him to the forest, they're playing games. The whole spiritual reality manifests in the mind and the heart of the devotee. And he enters into the realm and he finds himself as a spirit soul, Atma, in the spiritual world, where he is taking lunch with Lord Krishna and associates in the bank of Yamuna. They're playing games. So that is still called Samadhi stage, where we enter into the reality. You have to tune in to the Samadhi platform. That is called Siddha Deha, we call it. Right now our body is called a Sadhana Deha. From Sadhana Deha we go to Siddha Deha. Siddha Deha is spiritual body. Sadhana Deha is material body, where we perform sadhana. Right now we are doing sadhana, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram. Chant in sadhana Deha. But when you become advanced to go to the platform Samadhi, then you go to Siddha Deha, where you enter into the spiritual world, although your physical body is here. In spiritual body, you enter into the spiritual world. That is Siddha. So that is a Samadhi state, fully absorbed in Samadhi. I will just show you one small video in a minute, just a minute. I have to put the sound also. Just a minute. You can see now how the great sage in Samadhi, what happens, how he sees. You are able to see now? The first thing he sees in Samadhi, Lord Krishna has the Ananta Koti Brahmanda night. He's creating millions of universes.
Prabhuji, your voice is coming very low.
What happened? Sound is not coming?
Your voice was very low. I mean, due to this video sound.
I am reducing the video sound a little bit. So I was telling, when he enters into Samadhi, first he is seeing Mahavishnu, who is creating millions of universes. And then the same Mahavishnu enters into each of the universe. Second expansion of Mahavishnu. He lies in the Ananta Shesha and, and from his Nabi comes Brahmaji. And he is the first created living entity in this world. And whom he makes as a leader. And he gives knowledge to Brahma and tells Brahma to distribute the knowledge to others. This is another expansion called Ananta Shesha only, is called as Balaram or Sankarshan. And then he enters into atoms in this form of super soul. In every atom is present a super soul. It's the third expansion of Vishnu. So he expands Shankachakra Gada Gada. He also resides in Vaikuntha beyond his material existence, where he resides with Lakshmi and all the associates in Vaikuntha. So this is his beautiful form in the heart of everybody and also in every atom. again, this is Mahavishnu, creating millions of universes. Now we'll go beyond now. Beyond this material world we'll go. We have come out of the Brahmanda, we are seeing Mahavishnu, then we go to the Goloka from where Krishna expands as Mahavishnu. Now we are going to the Goloka Vrindavan, the topmost planet. And then we will enter into that planet now. Enter into the planet, you see this. Yamuna river is flowing and there is a Kadamakanam forest and Lord Krishna is Shaktiman standing with Shakti, Shrimati Radharani. The cows and calves and swans and deers and ducks and peacocks and cuckoos. And also there is Leela with covered boys. So in this way you will see. So in this way, yogi, when he comes to samadhi state, he enters into the spiritual realm. That is the fourth state called samadhi state. And the third state is shishupti, we call it. That is actually deep sleep state. You all know hippies were taking drugs in America. So they were thinking, they went to shishupti stage, which means a deep sleep state. So one hippie leader, his name is Allen Ginsberg, he told Prabhupada, Swamiji, when we take these drugs, we completely forget our problems. You know, we become, I think we attain samadhi, he said, by taking the drugs. Krishna has come in the form of a drug so that we can forget all our problems. Prabhupada said it is utter foolishness to think like that. Prabhupada said, because to think you go to samadhi by taking drug, but when you come out of the drug, you get terrible diseases. You know, then people have died because of drugs. So drug doesn't do any good. Taking such marijuana, LSD, all these things never do, they don't do any good at all. So that is not samadhi. Prabhupada said that is shishupti. It actually takes you to a state of deep ignorance. For example, if you take any drug, say for example, cigarette you take, like that it takes you to kicks you to a higher platform because it stretches your nerves. And then makes your nerves stretched and makes you feel that you have become like a palawan, like a bodybuilder. You feel energetic after you drink tea because tea contains nicotine, coffee contains caffeine, and drugs contain cocaine. So all these things you kick like that, it takes you up. Then that is why people want to drink them, because you get an immediate energy boost. But then what happens? It brings you down, 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 and when it wears off, and it takes you to negative axis. And this difference makes you feel depression. Suddenly you wonder, why am I feeling depressed? I'm feeling lonely, I'm feeling uneasy, something is missing. Again you get itching, again you want to take that to get the same experience. So from depression you would, boom, again you get a kick. It takes you. Then when they smoke the second cigarette, then it brings you down, 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 down. Now it takes you to depression even more deeper. Then you have to take one full cigarette packet, you have to take. Then 2 packets, 3 packets. That is how they become chain smokers. Because these drugs and other things, they take you to a higher plane, but then bring you down to a negative zone. Therefore, the same with liquor also. Cigarette, liquor, drugs, anything containing drug, all these things. Even in the early days, when cocoa came in the market, it was advertised openly. Everybody said that cocoa is very good and cocaine is giving us energetic experience. Our people are able to work harder in the companies, so let people take it. Later on, they found, my lord, it's a deadly drug. It can ruin your health. Inside, it can spoil your insides completely. Now, in some countries like Singapore, Malaysia, and if anybody is found to be carrying cocaine, he'll be put behind the bars now. They are not even, they are fined heavily and they put behind the bars. And same with marijuana, LSD, and if somebody is doing drug peddling, they will be heavily punished, penalized. 7 years imprisonment for the drug peddlers now. So, because they thought it is doing good, it was giving a kick, but then it brings them down to the depressed zone because it is Sushupti stage. It actually makes you temporarily forget your problems. And then it brings you to bigger problem later. You all may be aware, in those days, Ben Johnson, he had taken a steroid, and then he came first in the sprint, 100-meter running race. Later on, it was proved that he had taken steroid. Of course, he lost his post as athlete. For several years, he was, and it became a very shameful thing that he took a steroid to run. So after that, very severely, he was banned. So what happened with steroid? When he took steroid, he could run faster because he could forget the bodily pinch or pain in the body. He could run so fast. So these drugs make you forget the real situation and they take you to a deep sleep type of state, Sushupti type of state. And they make it's like actually a ostrich burying his face into a hole, tightly shutting his eyes, saying, "There is no tiger behind me. I don't believe in a tiger because I have put my neck into a hole. And therefore I imagine there is no tiger," if he says like that. Do you think there's no tiger? Tiger is going to come and catch him from behind and strip him out of the hole and eat him up. So people want to imagine there are no problems in this world by taking drugs or taking sleeping pills or taking steroids. So all these things are artificial platform. You understand this point? So there are 4 states: Jagrati, Swapna, Sushupti, Samadhi. So right now we are in which state?
Jagruti.
Jagriti.
Right now we are in Jagrati state. In the night when we sleep in the dream state. Then we go to a deep sleep state. And actually we want to attain Samadhi state. Like what we saw the yogi. Yogi in his most perfect state, highest state, he becomes a bhakta. Yoginam api sarvesham madgatenantaratmanam shraddhavan bhajate yomam same yuktatamo matah. Krishna says in 6.47 Bhagavad Gita. But my dear Arjun, when a yogi attains the highest stage, in that stage he develops great faith in me, transcendental faith in me. And with great devotion, he remembers me, thinks of me, and then he sees me. Then that is the time he sees the spiritual world, like what I showed you now. Now we understood this portion. I will read further. So, sorry. So this one, now conscious mind is Jagrati state. And the subconscious mind, we enter into that oftentimes in the Swapna stage. In the Swapna stage, from subconscious mind, a lot of thoughts are gushing out to the conscious mind. They're coming like bubbles coming out of water and coming to the surface, like that. And in superconscious state, we go to Samadhi. Correct, no? So, yeah. And then we talk about the thoughts are the most powerful force in the universe, and it initiates all action. When thought comes to the mind, then we initiate action. Please read this one. Mind is conversing with itself.
Mind is conversing with itself, discussing pros and cons and options. The mind is always conversing with itself, wandering down memory lane, discussing the pros and cons of various options, and planning for the future. One can silence the internal dialogue by loudly chanting Krishna's holy names and begging for mercy. The Supreme Lord controls every inch of creation. So, if he desires, he can easily control one Pagalamana crazy mind.
Pagal mind is a crazy mind, yeah. Yes.
Habits and desires from previous life or this life are ingrained or embedded in the mind. When these latent habits and desire manifest, the mind pushes one to act in a particular way.
Yeah. Now, when we talk about habits, how the habits are formed is very interesting. For example, initially you don't have a habit, but eventually you acquire a habit. Like, there are very good boys coming from good families. When he was at home with his parents, he might be doing even Gayatri Mantra 3 times a day, worshipping the Lord, bowing down to the Lord, going to temple, very obedient to parents, a simple boy at home. He lived a very simple life. And he has never lived lavishly. He would spend very carefully. But gradually, as the boy grows, he comes to college. He comes in the company of other friends. And then he develops a habit of spending lavishly. He goes to shopping mall, purchases that, useless things he purchases, costly things he purchases. So then he gets used to spending very lavishly. Then he also starts living lavishly in a big room or an independent bungalow, spending a lot of money. So the new habit has clung now to him. Habit of spending lavishly and living with too much. If a boy can live in just say $1,000, he's spending $5,000. He's spending 5 times the money because he has acquired the bad habit in the company of the friends who are living lavishly. Now, this is a mild habit, living lavishly. It may not be so dangerous. But then there are more dangerous habits. His friends tell him, "Hey, have you ever tried drinks?" And you say, "I only have drunk thumbs up or, Maaza, cold drinks I have drinks." "Hey, what cold drinks? You are not a bacha. Come on, try this, rum or try this liquor bottle. So initially one thinks it's not proper, but then all friends are doing it. And if I don't do, I'll be like, I'll be considered outlandish. What will people think of me? And I have to act like a gentleman. Just for the satisfaction of my friends, I will take a little. So that's how it begins. You begin a new habit. And then when one drinks a little bit, then one is impelled, like I told you this formula, book, it goes up, gets kicked. And then he comes depression and he has drink more, drink more. And that becomes then alcoholic. A boy becomes an alcoholic means he's addicted to alcohol. A chain smoker means he's addicted to smoking. Drug addict means he cannot give up now. See, what is the meaning of an addict? Addict means he got hooked into it and he cannot give it up. He got into a bad habit now. And it is affecting his body. He knows it. People are telling him, doctor is telling, parents are telling, he cannot give it up because he has become used to it, habituated to it. And that's how the habits form. So these are bad habits. Then there are good habits also. Like for example, there are boys who are eating meat before. They were eating chicken, they were eating goats, there are people even eating beef, cow flesh. They were not aware. Daily they were eating. But once they become Hare Krishna devotees, then they realize, my Lord, there's a soul in the body of a goat. There's a soul in the body of a chicken. Poor creatures, I am killing them. I should not harm them. You wake up just like Mrigari woke up. Then immediately you stop it. Your parents, your relatives, friends will be shocked. How this boy gave up? Many of them will tell you, hey, if you don't eat chicken and goat, how will you be strong? You need a healthy body. Then you argue with them. What are you talking about strong? Even an elephant is a vegetarian. Look at the vegetarian. Is it a skinny animal? It's such a strong, majestic, large animal. So they see that you are eating vegetarian, you are still strong and you are hale and healthy. And you have no taste for the dirty things as before. How? Because you have gotten rid of the old habit and formed new habits now. So habits are possible to be formed. And they are formed 3 A's, you can remember. A. First A is association. When you come in a certain type of association, then the second A is activity. Like right now, for example, you are coming in the association of like-minded boys who are all coming from good families, who want to lead pure lives, practicing pure habits. So in this good association, you are doing a good activity. What is the good activity you are doing? You are contemplating on what is right, what is wrong, how to pick up the right and give up the wrong, and lead a clean life, becoming happy yourself and making your parents happy, making everybody in the world around you happy, leading a cheerful life. So that means you are actually in good association, you do good activity. And by that good activity, the result is good attitude. That's the third A. Association, activity, attitude. And people who come in bad association, they do bad activity, then they become plunged in negative attitudes of envy. Like for example, Dhritarashtra came in the association of Shakuni. And in that association, he was doing activity of politics. And by that activity, he became absorbed in negative attitudes. On the other hand, you will find Bhima, he was very angry. He wanted to immediately destroy the Kauravas. He came in the association of Yudhishthira Maharaj. And in that activity, they both discussed philosophically what Lord wants us to do. We have to fulfill our duties and everything responsibly. Then from that, he developed a higher positive attitude of tolerating the Kauravas and forgiving them. You see? So our association leads to activity and attitude. So therefore, we have to be very careful in choosing good association. It is in our interest for our progress, for our growth. And sometimes boys say that, oh, Prabhu, I have examination. Oh, I am busy with this, I am busy with that. I don't have time for these classes. By by giving up attendance to the classes, then we are putting ourselves in a vulnerable situation. Why? Because there is no good association. Without good association, then you become replaced with bad association. Some students told me, Prabhu, I told I can't come for the class, but my friends pulled me to a movie. In the same time during the class, I went to a movie. 3 hours went and spent in the movie, and then I picked up many bad habits because of that. So in good association, you pick up good habits. In bad association, you pick up bad habits. So that's what he's saying here. habits and desires from a previous life or in this life are ingrained or embedded in the mind. When these latent habits and desires manifest, the mind pushes one to act in a particular way. For example, if you have taken pure association, that will impel you and it will create a, what do you call it, a guilt feeling inside your heart. Hey, don't do this. This is not proper. You learned in the classes that this will ruin your health. Like that, you will get Paramatma, super soul, God in your heart will tell you. And if you are cultivating bad habits, that also pushes you from inside. It pushes you. Smoke a cigarette, drink liquor, go around with anybody, So both of them actually push us, good and bad habits. So therefore, we have to load our mind with innumerable good vibrations so that we become impelled by pure activities, which are elevating us. Yeah, please read the next one. Astonishing parade.
Astonishing parade of thoughts and people, desires and things gushing out of subconscious mind. For example, as soon as one sits for japa meditation, all sorts of non-essential thoughts will manifest to disturb the mind. Parade of old memories, past enjoyments, future schemes, and tasty scenarios will bubble up from the subconscious to spin the mind in a whirlwind of distraction. Thoughts and people, desires and things will gush out to continuous stream from the subconscious reservoir. One should throw out these material thoughts just as one uproots weeds from the ground. One should fill the garden of the mind with the divine thoughts of Krishna's eternal service, gratitude, repentance, austerities, prayerful mood, and memories of his splendid pastimes.
So there are two types of examples given here, two types of absorption. When we sit for japa meditation, chanting Hare Krishna, initially you find all sorts of nonsensical thoughts come. See, look at the picture there. I have put a negative distraction in the outer band. You are seeing that? Black color band? That is negative distraction. Then after some time, when you become advanced devotee, then you will have positive distraction, which is the saffron band, which means, what is positive distraction? Anybody can guess?
Prabhuji, anything?
Yeah?
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay. Prabhuji, I think positive distractions will be everything that are indirectly related to Krishna, and whatever thoughts that take us back right to Krishna.
Okay, good. That's correct, Akash. Very nice. Positive distractions are favorable to us and it may be related to Krishna. For example, you may be thinking of some services related to Krishna. Say, you were given a seva, you please wash these pots, or you please kindly bring flowers from the market for making garland for the Lord. So evening you are supposed to do the service. You may be, during chanting, you may be thinking, oh, evening I'll come back at 5:30. Then I have to go to the market. I have to bring it. I should note in my diary and keep it. So you're thinking about flower bringing service, or grocery bringing service, or subject cutting service, or cleaning the room service, or calling the other students for the program. They have given you the seva. So the seva occupies your mind. That is positive distraction. Why are we calling it as positive? Because it's spiritual. It is for your good and for everyone's good. Lord is happy with you with that. So, but nevertheless, it is called distraction. Why? Everybody can say, why still it is called distraction? It's a good thing. What's wrong with that?
Prabhuji, what I think is that, first we thought about those positive things, but slowly we kind of start diverting towards things which are not related to Krishna. Initially we
that
thought
is
about
one reason. That's a very
And
smart,
also, Prabhuji, what I believe.
Yeah? Shekhar, yes?
Maybe all these thoughts are still related to the material world only.
Actually, no, it's not considered material. If you are doing in relation to Krishna, as Akash was telling, that thoughts related to Krishna are pure and spiritual. Even like thinking about cutting sabji for Krishna, bringing grocery for Krishna, cleaning the temple hall for Krishna in the morning before the Mangalarti. So all these things are very pure thoughts, sublime thoughts. They are very wonderful. They are not material. They are spiritual. Anything like in relation to Krishna is spiritual. That is really wonderful to think. But nevertheless, during chanting Hare Krishna, such positive distractions are also called distractions. Why? One reason Sachin said that when you are thinking of such thoughts, slowly from spiritual you go to material. For example, one devotee was telling me he would go to the temple and see the deities of Radha Kunjabihari in Pune. And when he was worshipping, he would look at that dhoti and immediately remembered his dhoti. Oh, I put my dhoti in the rooftop and the rain is coming now. I have to go and pick it. Immediately started running to the rooftop. He is seeing Krishna's dhoti and is remembering his own dhoti. Like that. So many times we go from spiritual to material thought. That was Sachin's point. Sachin Prabhu said that if we may think we are thinking positively, but again we go back to our own worldly things. That's one reason why we should not think of positive distractions, he was telling. Agreed. There's one more reason why we should not allow our mind to wander to even positive distractions also, not only negative distractions. Any other reason?
But I mean, thinking.
Yeah. Sound is not coming. Yeah.
I'm sorry, Prabhu. There is some issue with my mic. So thinking such thoughts is, it's not samadhi. It is jagruti, but we are not reaching the samadhi state, which is the targeting state, right?
Actually, you are right, Shekhar. So if you want to reach samadhi state, we have to go beyond Jagrati and Swapna. We have to go beyond the two. Now, what happens when you are thinking of these positive distractions? We are not able to chant the holy name with attention, with concentration. Correct now? So, see, for example, I'll tell you a simple example. Say you all are studying for a competitive exam. See, you wrote your GRE TOEFL and came to America. So when you're preparing for the GRE book, you're studying the vocabs, memorizing the vocabs. In between, you feel that, oh, this is very boring. Let me, play cricket, because cricket actually makes me very fresh. It's very enjoyable. So you go out and bat and then run and to and fro, and then 3-4 hours you are playing with your friends. Of course, running to and fro or playing a football, playing volleyball makes you healthy. But if it is distracting from your goal of preparing for GRE, and then although it's a good activity, still it has diverted you from the essential goal. And day after day, your number of hours of playing, if you increase, the number of hours of study of the GRE exam will be reduced. You agree? Because the time is same. Time available is same. If you occupy your time with very, very refreshing and very enjoyable activities, but then the focus on the main activity which you are supposed to do is gone. Similarly, when you are chanting, sitting with the Japamala, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You are supposed to utter the sound and hear the sound. But when you go for positive distraction, what happens? The hearing is lost. We can't hear the sound. Whether it is negative distraction or positive. That is the main reason why we should not get distracted. So as he says here, an astonishing parade of old memories, past enjoyment, future schemes, and tasty scenarios will bubble up. We see ourselves in relation to people, or we see in relation to some things, like I told you, gulab jamun and all that. So we also have many scenarios are bubbling from subconscious mind to spin the mind in a whirlwind of distraction. Thoughts and people, desires and things will gush out from subconscious reservoir, you see. So we should throw out these material thoughts, which are the black zone, and the saffron zone is a positive distraction. We remove them also. Then you go into yellow zone. You can see that. In the yellow zone, what you see, the prayerful mood. That is where you have gratitude, thoughts of gratitude, repentance, austerities, prayerful mood. You are thankful to Lord. You are glorifying the Lord in that yellow circle. If one is able to do that, that is exactly like a plane, hovering in the sky, which is very soon going to land in the airport. You remember the example I gave you? That another example I gave you was you go to a doctor who has about 30-40 patients sitting. You just hang around there, then your turn will come to meet the doctor. Or the aeroplane hangs around, it gets a chance to land. There's the heavy air traffic. Similarly, yellow zone is the zone you should be hovering in. Then you go to the Shuddhanam. Shuddhanam means pure name. When you are chanting Nishkapat Bhavana, Niraparad Bhavana, Nisahaya Bhavana, three things we say. Nishkapat Bhavana means you are completely innocent like a child. And Niraparad Bhavana means you don't commit the 10 offenses. And Nisahaya Bhavana means you feel dependence on the Lord, you are in a helpless state. And you feel utter dependence like a child feeling dependent on the parents. So in this state is attained very soon. When you come to the yellow zone, you go to the Shuddhana. Then our chanting will be fully concentrated, as Shekhar Prabhu was saying. In that state, we attain the Samadhi state very soon. Dharana, Dhyana, Samadhi. Dharana means we hold the mind in our mind, hold the name of the Lord in our mind. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Just like if you hold the gulab jamun in your mouth, you feel taste. Similarly, if you hold the holy name in the mind gets purified, cleansed. Our mind feels jolly. Mind feels very cheerful when you hear purely. So in this way, dharana means to hold. Dhyana means to concentrate. And samadhi means to be absorbed completely. And then we become pure devotees very soon. Yeah. Read further. Petitioning the Lord with prayer is very beneficial at every stage of chanting. Oh Krishna, please help me. Oh Murli Manohar Hari, please capture my mind, control it, and accept it in your service. Like that we should pray. This is a mood in which we should call the holy name. Oh Krishna, please purify my heart. Please elevate me. Please deliver me. My mind is going mad, chasing after useless things. Please pull me up. Like that we should pray. Never despair and don't be discouraged. The constant chanting of Krishna's holy names will very quickly burn up all desires, illusions, sinful thoughts, and memories from the mind. Yeah, how does it burn up? If you remember, I told you, like the lens. Like a lens, if you see, if you hold the lens at a focal point, there it burns a paper or cotton. But if you're shaking the lens, then it cannot burn a paper or cotton. Similarly, you have to hold the mind and concentrate on the holy name. Then our sinful reactions are all burned away. Aham tvam sarva papepyo mokshayishyami, Krishna says. But if you allow the mind to get shaken up by negative distraction, positive distraction, a shaking mind cannot concentrate. An unconcentrated mind cannot burn away the impurities. Therefore, even after chanting for many years, sometimes people may still not give up impure habits. And the reason is because they are not chanting with concentration. Those who sit down peacefully in one place, close the eyes, semi-cllosed eyes, and then utter the holy name very clearly, chant audibly, pronounce clearly, hear attentively. Those who do this, eventually they get concentration and they become peaceful in their mind and blissful in their mind. Otherwise, sometimes you walk and chant, which is also not wrong. Whatever helps you to concentrate, you can do. But walking, chanting, the problem is we have some people coming in midway and we have to do traffic control. When you're walking and chanting, you get distracted. Sometimes while walking, you peep out of the window, you see this, see that. So preferable is sit down in one place, take the mala, peacefully close your eyes and absorb into chanting. Don't go to sleep. If you're feeling sleepy, we should walk and chant. If you're not feeling sleepy, then we should sit down and chant. Hare Krishna. So in this way, we should go to samadhi state gradually.
Sorry, I have a question in this regard.
Yeah.
What is better to let's say chant only 1 or 2 rounds with very attentiveness, or chant more, but sometimes our attention is not, as good. So, what do you recommend?
Actually, ideally speaking, what we should do, we begin with 1 or 2 rounds in the beginning when you are coming into Krishna consciousness. And then eventually every Ekadashi day, some people increase 1 round. Some people on Ekadashi day increase 2 rounds. For example, in 8 Ekadashis, which means in about 4 months, people come to 16 rounds. Actually, although all 16 rounds may not be done with concentration, still, if one regularly chants, concentration picks up for a period of time. And the relish will come, the joy will come. In fact, all of you devotees, you will feel when you are chanting 2 rounds, your mind will say, oh, I feel like chanting one more. The inspiration is given by the Lord in the heart. Then you can make it 4 rounds. And when you are confident, then you can make it 6 rounds. Ideal is 16 rounds. If one cannot, generally one should come to 16 rounds in a period of 1 year period approximately. Say after 3 months, you can come to 4 rounds generally. After 6 months, you come to 8 rounds. And 9 months, you come to 12 rounds. And in 1 year, you come to 16 rounds. So that means every 3 months, you are able to come to 4 rounds, you are able to increase. Now, all 16 rounds may not be concentrated, but at least warming up only takes 2-3 rounds. You can see that. But after the 3rd round, or so 3rd, 4th round, your mind is hooked to the chant japa, and you start feeling a joy. When the more you withdraw from the external environment, the more you're hearing the sound. It is like a rhythm. It is like you have seen people gliding in the river top. It's like surfing. It's a very joyful experience, chanting. And it's a rhythmic chanting. When it goes, you forget your bodily upadhis or designations. You don't think, I'm a man, I'm a woman, I am fair, I am black, I am educated, uneducated, I am a wealthy man, poor man. You forget all the external identities. You are actually like gliding in a river, very smoothly. It's like boating in the middle of the river, very joyfully. So the chanting gives that kind of experience when you hear it. And the joy is so powerful. After you finish the round, you get up to go back to room. You feel, why am I stopping it? Let it just go on for eternity. You feel like that. I have had that experience in kirtans also. Sometimes Maharaja came and did kirtan. After 1 hour of kirtan, when he stopped the kirtan, still the kirtan was ringing in the head. And I was thinking, why did he conclude the kirtan? He should have gone for another 2 hours. You'll feel like that. Just like sometimes when you eat prasadam, you feel like that when you eat. Why should I stop eating? Let me go on eating this item. You feel like that. You experience of that? Sometimes some special item. Any of you ate any special item, you felt like that? When I ate son papdi. You feel, oh, let me have unlimited mouths to eat unlimited son papdis. In Giriraj, in Vrindavan, you get. So
Prabhuji, that happens only with prasadam, not with the. I mean, we are like such a fallen that. We don't have that doesn't happen with chanting.
It may happen with prasad, but it may not happen with chanting because the chanting is unconcentrated oftentimes. When it is done with concentration, even if you are a 2-rounder, you are chanting, you will feel that joy when you do with concentration. All of you will have experienced it. Someday your concentration is good. Other days it may not be good, correct?
Yeah.
See, you are getting some taste, otherwise you won't be able to continue. You are continuing the chanting, continuing the classes. That means you're getting some taste. But we have to make that effort to concentrate every day. Therefore, there are 2 powerful distractors for us, eyes and the ears. Because like I'm sitting in the temple hall and chanting, some people are walking, going, coming. Then I see who is coming, what is the name, that person appears familiar for me. So the mind gets distracted by seeing. If you close the eyes, then the ears, they receive a sound vibration. Some sound you hear immediately. So as soon as you hear the sound, your eyes open immediately and see. Vishwamitra heard the sound of the ankle bells of Menaka. Immediately opened the eyes. So these eyes and ears are the biggest distractors. So devotees, therefore we chant in the early morning. Early morning, what happens? Most people are sleeping. So the sound level is very low. Another advantage in morning hours, if you see, in the morning hours, people's brain waves are flat. They are fast asleep. In the daytime, the brain waves are very active. People are sending Facebook messages, WhatsApp messages, back and forth. The whole world is very active. So there is a lot of interference for you to chant in the daytime. Because the traffic is very heavy traffic. The subtle signal traffic. You understand, no? The signals coming from people's brains all over the world is like that, all over so much of traffic. In that, for you to chant Hare Krishna will be very difficult. But in the morning time, people are sleeping. So the brain wave is flat. People are completely fast asleep. So I have this experience in the road in the early morning when I travel to go to student centers. The whole road is empty. You can easily travel in your car. What takes 1 hour in the daytime takes 10 minutes in the morning. because there is no traffic. Just as there is no physical traffic, the mental traffic is also, very less in the morning because people are asleep. And you people are awake in the morning. So when you're early in the morning, you get up, so you have very less traffic to tackle. You can chant very nicely. So then try to chant in the morning of Sattva Guna. Then concentration comes. Then the taste will develop. Is it all right, Sachin Prabhu?
Yes, Prabhuji. Thank you.
Please read this one, practice of concentration.
Practice of concentration. To have mental concentration, one must be cheerful and peaceful. By cultivating friendship with equals, respect for seniors, compassion for juniors, and indifference towards sinners, one will destroy envy, hatred, aversion, and become happy and serene. Srila Prabhupada says one can develop concentration by seclusion, determination, discretion, and detachment.
Yeah.
By
So
regular
here he is talking about developing good qualities and to become a good chanter. For example, if you deal with respect towards seniors, they'll be happy with you. If you show compassion towards juniors, they'll be grateful to you. If you have friendly relationship with equals, then you cherish their company. On the contrary, if you are envious of the seniors, if you ridicule the juniors, if you brag about ourselves to the equals, and if you associate with sinners, then the result is our mind will be in turmoil. Mind will not be peaceful. Therefore, we should avoid envying seniors, ridiculing juniors, all that. So these good qualities we have to cultivate. Then the mind becomes peaceful. Then the mind is free to focus on the holy name. To become happy and serene. Next para.
By regular practice and cultivation, one can attain the platform of full concentration on Krishna's sweet names and remembrance of his pastimes. Mind and memory are like muscles. The more you use them, the stronger they get. Srila Prabhupada confirms that memory power can improve with practice. Memory may be poor, but if you cultivate something, your memory increases. Everyone becomes expert, not in one day, but by cultivation. Similarly, if you try to remember, then your memory will help you to remember. It is not
Yeah.
difficult.
It's not difficult. For example, initially we learned small verses. Dehe nasmin jatha dehe kaumaram jauvanam jara tata dehantara praptir dhirastatra namuhyati. Even this verse may be difficult for many people to remember. You may think how to remember this Sanskrit verses. But as you keep practicing, even we all did that. Shloka recitation daily we would do. Just like children do, 2, 1, sa, 2, 2, 2, sa, 4. They do this, rote repetition. Similar shloka you keep reciting, then you can swallow big verses. Very, very, very big verses. For example, I'll tell you some very stout verse, big verse, how you can remember. Like Shatruchedeka mantram sakalam uparishat vakya sampujya mantram samsaro cheda mantram samuchita tamasa sanga niryana mantram sarvaishwaryaika mantram vyasana bhujaga sandashta santrana mantram jihve Sri Krishna mantram japa japa satatam janma safalya mantram. It appears like very big. But if you start with smaller shlokas, then bigger shlokas know the meaning of each word. Then you combine the words and recite 2 times, 3 times. So our memory muscles build exactly like the physical muscles. Just like you add weights, you become a powerful bodybuilder. Similarly, muscles can also get stronger and stronger as you exercise them. Chanting also is exactly like that. The more you regularly chant, it will get better and better over time. As Prabhupada says. So tomorrow when I come, I'll start with this 11th one, conception and consciousness, and then we will. Then this is the last page here. This is the 8th page. I think we'll complete this tomorrow. And then I can take some questions tomorrow. So these notes, we went in great detail because we took several days to complete this because it's about chanting. Srila Prabhupada says 90% of our progress comes from chanting. Hare Krishna. So therefore, we were devoting so much time. Otherwise, these notes we will generally finish in 1 or 2 sittings only. All these notes. But whatever you're all hearing, it's quite clear for you, right?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yeah.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Anybody wishes to ask anything for today?
Prabhuji, I have like one request, like maybe in the coming week or so, sometime it may not be possible for us to attend or for me to attend the class. So can we get the recording if it's possible?
Oh yes, we are preserving the recordings. Our Omkar Prabhu is storing it in one place, and he'll give you the link. You can take it. And actually, they told me that 18th December to 18th January is the holidays, and they told me to do for a month like this. After that holiday, they said colleges will reopen. Then your life will become busy, and accordingly, the schedules will be, modified for all of you. So you all are in different colleges in different years, I believe, correct? No?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Your college
Yes,
is open
Prabhu, yeah.
extension? Your college is open?
Yeah. So I'm actually a postdoc. So my college is open.
No problem. We will give you the recording, and I may do probably till middle of this month, January, and after that we will modify the schedule. And I want to see all of you. Chandan's video was on. I saw Chandan. You all can put on your video. I'll just see who looks how. You'll see, okay, this is Chandan Prabhu. Chandan Prabhu, you are from which part of India?
Prabhuji, I'm from Patiala, Punjab.
Okay. You chant how many rounds, Chandan?
6 round, Prabhuji.
Very good. Now you're doing in which college then?
Prabhuji, I graduated last year. I'm working now.
In Boston itself, you got a job?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Oh, that's very good. Very good. Continue six rounds. Very nice. And Sachin Prabhu, yourself?
Prabhuji, I'm in New York. I also graduated from India only. Here I'm working as a postdoc.
Oh, you're doing a postdoc. Which university you do? NYC?
City College, yeah. CUNY, yeah.
So you are in touch with Arjunanand Prabhu?
Yeah, yes, Prabhuji. Yeah, he only
Okay.
get me connected here, yeah.
Okay, nice. And Shekhar Prabhu, yours. And how many rounds you chant, Sachin Prabhu?
Prabhuji, I try to complete 16.
Oh, really? Amazing. Which part of India you belong to?
Prabhuji, I come from Himachal Pradesh.
Okay. And how did you come to 16 so quickly? You were earlier trained by somebody?
Actually, usually I go for a morning walk. Like by sitting, it is difficult for me, but I go for a morning walk. There I complete like 10 rounds or something. And then when I come in the evening, I complete like rest of the rounds.
Okay. So you started your Krishna consciousness when?
Not long before, like maybe 4-5 months.
Very good. In a very short time, you developed a great taste, I believe, for that.
Yeah, actually, I used to hear the videos before. Your videos, Amog Leela Prabhu's videos, and their videos. And then I was very much interested, but here I got the association, and then by others' motivation, I
Very
started.
nice, wonderful. My humble request to you, please help Arjunanand Prabhu. He is single man, alone, and he doesn't have much acquaintance there in New York. Yeah. If you help him put up a program, then just like here Omkar Prabhu is helping, like that you can help in New York for him.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, we are constantly in touch, and we are thinking of starting something like that.
Yeah, now you should be like an elder brother for the new boys and help them to get connected. Thank you. And Shekhar Prabhu, yourself?
Prabhu, I'm from Hyderabad. I met you in Hyderabad. So
you
met really big.
You were introduced me by Anuk, no?
Yes, Prabhu.
Right. Actually, there was one more boy called Parikshit. Are you aware of him, Parikshit?
No, Prabhu.
Oh, Parikshit is actually from also Hyderabad, known to Achyuta Gopal Prabhu. Okay, I'll find out. I'll write a mail to him and ask him to connect with all of you. You really connected very well, Shekhar Prabhu, after going to Boston. You chant how many rounds?
Thank you, Prabhu. So I chant only 1 or 2 rounds, Prabhu. I'm at really beginning stages. After that, I remember something or the other to do, and
Your probably your academic course must be very too tight, I believe.
Very tight, bro. But I try to chant 1 to 2.
Okay. So you're doing your MS now?
Yes, bro.
All right. Probably the first semester is very demanding, first 1 or 2 semesters, because theory is there. I think second year you do project more.
Yes, Prabhu. So from that time, I should get slightly more time.
Right. So one thing with chanting is, if you do 1 or 2 rounds, it warms up, and then another 1 or 2 rounds, then you concentrate. Then you get the taste of concentration. What I would suggest to you, if you cannot do every day, whichever day you feel, like weekends and all, you can chant a little more. Then you chant 4 rounds and experience it yourself. Huh?
Sure, Prabhu.
Thank you. And Arvind Prabhu, yourself?
This is my first time I've been attending lectures from ISKCON, and I'm originally from Hyderabad.
Okay, very good. You know somebody in Hyderabad?
No one, Prabhuji.
Okay. Today is the first lecture for you?
No. I mean, I've been attending lectures in Boston when I came to Boston. I didn't go.
Okay. Then you picked up from here. And you study in NEU, is it?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. You chant how many rounds, Arvind Prabhu?
I don't actually chant, but I'll have to inculcate that habit.
Can you chant 1 or 2 rounds on a regular basis?
Yes, Prabhuji, I'll do that.
It won't take much time. It just takes you 15 minutes. It's like sharpening the saw. See, without sharpening the saw gets heated up, and it becomes blunt also. But if you just like sharpening the pencil, then it becomes very sharp and legible. You do it for yourself, you will see a big difference in your life. Actually, meditation and chanting is actually the culmination of all knowledge. If you do this on a regular basis, you will reap great benefits. You give a try.
Definitely.
Thank you. And yourself, Hemang Prabhu? Yeah, Hemang?
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I actually I first met you at a Mayapur program a few years ago. And since then, I've been connected. I actually stay right beside the Juhu Temple in Mumbai. I'm in Indiana University. And I for my Thanksgiving break, I went to New York once. So I met Arjun Anand Prabhu there. Then he told me that you were the one who sent him here, and we filled a lot. And then he told me there's a program, there's you conduct Zoom calls every evening. So I try to attend as much as I can, and I chant in the morning, like at least 5 days a week. I do it. Sometimes it just skips, but I always chant at least 8 rounds, and I've been associated since the 10th grade of 10th grade.
Amazing. That's very great.
Thank you, Prabhu.
Keep it up. Very nice habit. So you are in Indiana University, and Sachin is in which university? New York.
City University of New York.
City University in New York. Okay. So in both these universities, now many students are going to become your followers. You will be leaders there. And you are chanting 8 rounds and Sachin is 16 rounds. Very good. Before you complete your course, both of you establish either a club in the college or a group of students, so that you will do great good to your college.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
Thank you. And Omkar Prabhu, somebody is sitting in the temple hall, some of the students?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Chandan is there. Chandan, I already got introduced, I think, correct? Yeah, Chandan, you are in which college in Boston?
Prabhuji, I graduated last year from Columbia University.
You passed already, you said, is it? Oh,
Yes,
you are also in New York now?
No, Prabhuji, right now I'm in Boston, but I graduated from New York.
Okay. Yes. And Omkar Prabhu, who is in the temple hall there? Yeah. What's his name?
Sharat Prabhu.
Sharat Prabhu. Yes. Sharat Prabhu, what about you?
I'm from Bangalore, Karnataka.
Okay.
And I'm doing my construction project management here in Boston.
Okay.
Like a daily morning, we chant around 6 to 8 rounds, Prabhu.
Very good. Wonderful. Keep it up. Continue nicely. So, thank you all very much. Nice meeting you. And because of your sincerity, Krishna is giving you inspiration to understand the subject very well and continue chanting. It's only a matter of time. 6 months to 1 year, you take training. It will be an investment for the whole life. It's like laying a foundation for erecting a big skyscraper building. Continue keeping in touch with your mentors and continue. And especially chanting is your link with God, connection with God. So never give up. If you couldn't do it in the morning, do it in the evening. No problem. Thank you. Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you so much.
Hare Krishna.